Hey.
Oh, hi.
What's up, everyone?
Welcome to the Scarecrow video 2.1 live stream telethon.
Yeah, we're back, you guys. We're back for another telethon. We're live 12 to 8 today, so tune in. I mean, you're already tuned in.
Well, hopefully you're already tuned in.
Leave it on.
I'm Kevin Clark.
I'm Emily Soderbeck.
And we're here to host this. We host the other Scarecrow show, Viva Physical Media. I'm sure a lot of you out there are already fans. So
and if you're not a fan, should be.
Yeah. What are we doing today?
We have so much on the docket today for you. We are here to talk about Scarecrow, to celebrate all of the greatness that is physical media. We're here to encourage you guys to check us out, to donate. We have a fundraising goal that we are climbing towards.
Yep, it's a pretty big goal for the whole thing is $250,000 because we're trying to do a massive overhaul of our infrastructure, of our whole our website, of our web presence, of our point of sale system, everything, so that it'll be much easier for everybody around the country to actually have access to us via rent by mail, and it'll just be a much easier system for everybody to use, and so more people can enjoy Scarecrow in a much easier fashion.
Because once we get things working on the back end, then things can start being better for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's our main goal. Today's goal, I believe, is
to have fun.
Today's goal is to have fun, but also we're trying to make $25,000.
Yeah.
So if you
easy.
Right, I know. It's no problem.
Nice.
No problem. And if there's any fun challenges throughout the day that you want to throw at Emily and I that won't ruin my suit, we're totally down.
Yeah, and even though he's wearing this really fancy, nice suit, he does not have the $25,000 that we need right now.
Oh, Lord, no.
I know he looks really rich.
I mean, I did. But then I had to buy this suit.
He had to buy the suit.
So,
$25,000 suit.
It's a pretty good suit.
So yeah, we're gonna be here with you guys on and off all day. We have a lot of really cool videos. We got some interviews.
Yeah, we got a great interview with Jeff Krulik, director of Heavy Metal Parking Lot, among other awesome sort of underground documentaries.
We have a little Ken Jennings?
Ken Jennings hosted a trivia contest that you'll recognize at least one of the contestants in there. And yeah, that's going to be later in the show too, which is really fun. And we've got a ton of videos. Yep. We've got a lot of people. We've got a lot of people giving tours of some different sections in Scarecrow. Not every section, but some special things like that. And
also, it's live, so who knows what is going to happen? Who knows who's going to show up?
Who knows what's happening right now?
I don't.
Is it even happening? We don't know. We're talking into a camera, and there's no audience here or anything. So
I mean, we got Leo and Jensen.
Yeah, we do have Leo and Jensen, but it's not quite the same. So what's on the table here?
This is our merch table.
Can you guys see the table? I don't even know.
This is you're at.
No, you don't have to. I just was wondering.
We got a lot of fun stuff here.
Yeah. So this is all stuff that you can get through the fundraiser. So if you go to our Scarecrow to the page, I think it's scarecrow.com something 21. It's probably on the screen right now. I don't know, or it's below the video. So here's a bunch of the stuff. We'll just hold them up as we go. Look at this.
You may have seen these if you watch our Viva Physical Media YouTube show because we drink beer out of them.
Yeah, but we're not drinking beer right now because it's too early.
Yeah, but just wait. Anyways, we got these awesome pint glasses that say Scarecrow Video and have our little logo, and we also have these koozies. So these are great for the summer. Backyard barbecues.
Absolutely.
Iced tea, beer. Orange juice in the morning,
Anything watery.
Ice water. I love drinking some ice water out of a pint glass.
I drink water out of a pint glass every day.
Keep hydrated.
Yeah, stay hydrated, everybody. We don't want you passing out while you're watching this.
I feel like so much energy is happening right now that I need to really spare it out for the rest of the time.
No! Oh no. We get it all out of the way right now.
I just, I'm still drinking my coffee. But yeah, we finally have koozies and pint glasses. Yep. These are a reward for, I believe, the $30 and $50 level. If I'm wrong, you guys just go on.
When we come back, we'll have better notes.
we don't. We'll feed you some information, but we know we have competent fans.
We have stickers too. These awesome stickers.
Oh my God, I love these.
All of the artwork, by the way. We got the 2.1 artwork designed by.
Are you gonna put this on your car?
Will Lawn. Oh hell yeah! I'm putting one of these on my car. I'm put one of these on my car too, probably.
Yeah.
But these awesome stickers. I don't know. Yeah.
These are like pretty nice quality stickers too.
Yeah, back a little bit.
Anyway, cool. So there's these awesome little stickers. You got these great bumper stickers, and it's all with the sort of 2.1, crow thing with the little robot parts and stuff showing our upgrades.
I really enjoy the color scheme of this telethon.
Yeah.
I like the turquoise and the like burgundy stuff.
Right?
Look, it matches my nails.
It's nice. Oh wow.
Very cool.
Good job.
Thanks.
Good job, everyone.
Thank you.
Also, these posters that we've been pointing at are also up on the as one of the rewards. So you can get these awesome posters. I print out some great cardstock, and again, awesome artwork by Will. And if you like that design, of course, we have a T-shirt.
Yeah, and if you're
With silver ink, it's black and silver ink. And look, so the little robot parts are actually silver, and the parts on the VHS tape.
that's very cool.
It's awesome. It's an awesome T-shirt.
If you have a child, or if you are a child, we got them in little sizes too. So
That's
cute.
true. That's awesome. Look at that. Aww.
You can
these
even
little
put
guys are
your
holding hands.
You can put your dog in this probably.
Yeah. I think we have smaller ones even. So
Yeah.
I mean, not like real tiny dogs.
Oh my God!
but-
If you put your dog in this, please send us a photo. Also, your child or your baby.
Yeah. Send us a picture of that. Viva@scarecrow.com if you want to send us any pictures of your dogs wearing our clothing or anything.
The last little thing we got out here for merch-wise is these pins. These really awesome. I don't even know what kind of pins they are, but
The
I don't
pins
know if you
designed-
can see them.
Yeah. And these are designed by Jensen, who you'll see later in the show, doing some stuff here.
Doing some
too.
cool stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are rad. Put them on your jean jacket or your bag or in a nice velvet case.
If you have a nice velvet case for all your buttons.
I keep
pins
talking.
and
I keep
stuff.
bringing up this velvet case. I don't think a lot of people have it, but who knows?
Do you?
No.
Oh.
Don't.
I feel like you should get one.
I know.
Since you're such
I'm
a big proponent
I'm a big fan.
of that.
What do we got next?
What we got coming up, we got we're gonna cut away to some videos here pretty soon. We've got a special fundraising edition of Art House to the Fart House, our other YouTube show with Kate and Jamie, and a video from Ryan Webb following that. So
About rent by mail stuff?
it is, yeah. It's really funny, I think.
Exciting.
Welcome to this very special episode of Art House 2, the Fart House. As I believe all of you should know by now, we are in the midst of the biggest fundraising effort ever in Scarecrow history. And so this episode is all about us turning to movies for lessons in how to raise money or save the thing you love. And I've asked Jamie to kick it off for us.
And I said no. Wait, I said yes. So my first choice is a movie that is fun to contextualize. Imagine a time where many people aren't working, there are gas lines, and you will find yourself in the late 70s. And the movie I picked was Americathon from 1979, directed by Neil Israel. And him and the producers basically went on to write a bunch of 80s classics like Real Genius, Police Academy, and Bachelor Party. And I don't know if this is their first movie, but it's the first movie of theirs that I saw. And it's a movie set in the future, the 1979 future, of I think 1998, where people don't drive anymore, they live in their cars. That's pretty true to nowadays. Politics have basically just fallen apart, and America's broke and they need to raise some money, so they have a telethon. And the telethon initially starts off with, because of some plot machinations, with literally hours of ventriloquists, and then it devolves into just basically another form of the reality TV that we know and love today, that's basically guiding us to the apocalypse. John Ritter is the president. He has never been more made up. He is gloriously rouged up in this movie for whatever reason. Sweatsuits up and down this film, non-stop sweatsuits. It's got a pretty good soundtrack. The Beach Boys do a really good theme song, the Mike Love Beach Boys, and Elvis Costello's in it. There's tons of cameos. Meatloaf has a great part in it. Harvey Korman's great. Jay Leno boxes his mom, and it's basically famous nowadays for not being that great of a movie, but it talks about a lot of things that were kind of close to happening. If you think about the way the world was going to go in the late 70s to the late 90s, it's not true, but if you think about now, it's a little more accurate. And so it's a funny movie. It's going to be funnier if you contextualize, you know kind of what was going on in the late 70s that made this satire kind of interesting. But my takeaway from it, the thing that I learned from it, was if you're having trouble raising money and the talking dummies don't work, blow shit up and hope somebody gets hurt.
Which I think actually we've used in our own fundraising.
Spoiler alert, I'm going to blow up at the end of this tape.
My first pick is Pride from 2014, directed by Matthew Warchus. This is set in 1980s Great Britain. So that's the Thatcher era, and also think about the miners' strike. This is a story about a London-based gay and lesbian group that is really touched by a story of a small Welsh mining town that is really struggling to survive. And so they decide to take it upon themselves to raise money in order to help them out. The town itself in Wales is very reluctant to accept the money because of the source of where it's coming from. And the movie is really about each of these two different groups looking at their biases and trying to find some mutual acceptance. My lesson in this is that support can come from really unexpected places, and that you always have to have an open heart and an open mind.
My next choice is Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo. And it's a movie where the community center is closing down, and the kids have to get together and put on a show, basically, to save the community center. And this movie came out 7 months after the original, the very successful Break-In. Basically, Canon hired one of their go-tos who does nothing but American Ninja and cyborg cop movies to direct a musical. Doesn't make sense to me either. It's fun to hang out with the characters from Break-In, Shabba-Doo, Special K, and Boogaloo Shrimp, but they don't seem like the same characters. They exist in some type of different universe that reminds me more of Fame than Break-In. But it's still an entertaining movie. It's still fun to watch. It's just not as good as the first movie, and it just seems like they didn't understand what was great about the first movie and tried to make their own movie, which isn't as great. So my takeaway from that, if you're in a sequel and the community center is closing and you need to help it stay open, put on a Mickey Rooney and Judy Garland style musical instead, so white people will donate.
Okay. Well, my second choice is actually a little bit unusual for me because I don't know that this would technically be in the art house. It is a movie from 1979 called The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh, directed by Gilbert Moses. And it is a story about a failing pro basketball team in Pittsburgh that, as a last resort, turns to an astrologer to help guide their decisions and save the team. It features basketball legend Julius Erving, as well as amazing choreography by Debbie Allen. And Stockard Channing plays Mona Mondu, who is the astrologer. And there's also just a smattering of 70s familiar faces. My lesson that I learned from this is that sometimes you have to think outside of the box, or turn to the stars in order to save something that you love.
Or outside of the paint, to use a basketball terminology. My next choice is, it will fall under the Saving What You Love, and it's from 1990 director John Landis's magnum opus. It's The Blues Brothers. And The Blues Brothers seems like a movie that is made for three people, and those three people are Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, and John Landis. It doesn't make any sense because they say, let's do a musical that has amazing acts and deadpan humor, nonstop car crashes, and Illinois Nazis. I'm pretty sure there wasn't a production meeting that they said, let's hit the 4 quadrants of entertainment value. But because it's so amazingly weird and unto itself, it's just one of a kind, you know, like there's no other movie like it. The musical numbers are amazing. Truly amazing, and that's because of the artists that perform in it, and also because of John Landis's direction. John Landis's direction in those scenes is just super filled with joy, and I will never get tired of watching that movie. My takeaway from that is there is no amount of party-fueled drugs that can substitute for people like Ray Charles, James Brown, and Aretha Franklin to raise money.
All right, my third choice is Calendar Girls from 2003, directed by Nigel Coles. So this is the story of a group of women that are part of the Women's Institute in a small village in Yorkshire, so in Great Britain. And they come up with this daring idea to raise money, which is to have a nude calendar.
Did you say a new calendar?
A nude calendar. And so what happens as part of their endeavors just goes way beyond what any of them could have ever imagined. So my takeaway from this movie is taking your clothes off raises money. And I'm thinking maybe a Scarecrow calendar is in our future. So a few strategically placed. No.
Not again. No. My next choice, because Kate went outside the parameters of our deal, I decided to do the same thing because I'm like that. My choice that doesn't exactly come from the fart house, it's literally a classic, undisputed classic, is Dog Day Afternoon from 1975, directed by Sidney Lumet and starring some of the finest actors of the 70s or any time. Married Al Pacino decides to rob a bank to get money to fund his lover's sex change operation, and the movie never does anything but takes that seriously. It's incredibly respectful to the true story that the movie's based upon, and it's one of my favorite New York City movies because Lumet just films the city amazingly. He films around for the beginning of it, but then he settles his camera on the characters and on the people outside, and it just feels like one of the prototypical 70s New York movies. Very well done. The script and Lumet's direction basically humanize every single character because the script's amazing, and also Lumet allows the amazing actors who had all worked together a long time before on the stage and screen to improvise certain things that make the movie seem intensely realistic, and it's a perfect combination. It's heartbreaking at the same time as hopeful, and that's rare. So my takeaway for that is if you have a personal interest and you truly believe what you're raising money for, no amount of laws will stop you.
All right, my fourth pick is Cold Turkey from 1971, which is directed and also co-written by Norman Lear. This is a wacky story about this small, down-on-its-luck Iowa town who decides to pull together and stop smoking for 30 days in order to win $25,000. Dick Van Dyke plays a minister who goes so far as to take up smoking in order to stop smoking so he can suffer the same hardships as everybody else, and is the person who really rallies everybody together, holds them true to this mission to not smoke for 30 days. My lesson that I took away from this is that sometimes the challenges that we face seem really impossible, but with enough grit and tenacity, and importantly a sense of community, they can be overcome.
My final choice, my fifth choice, is a movie by the great Graydon Clark. And it is 1983's Joysticks. And if you know the work of Graydon Clark, you know what you're in for. You know, like he makes B movies, Final Justice, Without Warning. He makes them well for B movies, but they are inherently B movies. This movie treats women pretty piss poorly. They objectifies them. The women are around to just take their tops off, but if you can contextualize it, it's good to go back and see what movies used to represent and then know that we're far enough away from it where it seems weird, but you can still enjoy it for what it is. It's like a time machine, basically. This is a story, hence the name Joysticks. It's about saving the arcade. Joe Don Baker plays a giant asshole. I don't know if they just filmed it documentary style, and like he was just being a jerk that day on set. It probably took 2 days to film. The movie is filled with 80s protagonists, and 80s protagonists are always like the biggest assholes for some reason. This movie is just packed with pieces of human garbage, and it's always the guys. They are focused on the worst aspects of being a man in the 80s. Their entire journey through life is getting laid and keeping the arcade open, which is important. So my takeaway of this movie is you don't have to be a total asshole to save the arcade, but if it's the 80s, it doesn't hurt.
And that's gonna help us.
It's not.
Oh,
it's
okay.
not.
Okay.
It's not.
Okay, my final pick is It's a Wonderful Life from 1947. This is Frank Capra's probably jewel in his crown, even though there are a lot to pick from. This is one of the all-time great classics from the studio era. George Bailey, the main character, has sacrificed all of his hopes and dreams and given his whole life to helping and saving the town and community that he loves. But through a series of mishaps, he's on the verge of losing everything, including his will to live, when fate, or angels, intervene. And my lesson, and this is probably the most important of all of the lessons from today, is that, and I'm going to actually paraphrase it from the last scene in the movie itself, no person is a failure who has friends. Scarecrow has been so fortunate to have so many generous, loving, and supportive friends. And because of that, we cannot fail in this. We ask you to please join in and be a part of the future of physical media.
So there I was, hanging out with my best friends, about to watch a movie on Netflix. That's neck, like the thing that connects your shoulders to your head. Netflix had so many shows and movies, but, none that appealed to my highbrow sensibilities. And when I did find a movie that I was interested in, I'd check just one more row to see if there wasn't a movie that I wanted to watch more. But of course there wasn't. And I'd go back to the movie that originally sparked my interest, and I'd think to myself, I don't want to watch that lame piece of shit. What was I even thinking considering that movie? It was time to check out Scamazon. Scamazon actually had the movie I was looking for. But there was a catch. I had to keep searching. I mean, what was I going to do? Open up a book and start reading? I was not yet that desperate. I tried so many other streaming services, but like a toothless child bobbing for apples, I came up empty. Eventually, it all became too much, and I gave up.
Hey man, wake up!
What? Who are you?
I'm your spirit guide, bro.
I didn't think my spirit guide would be so greasy.
Hey man, this is fresh pepperoni. When you bake fresh pepperoni, it's bound to get a little greasy. Chill.
You can hear my voiceover?
Of course, bro. I'm your spirit guide. What do you think this magic eye is for? I see all, and I know all.
What's the shark fin for?
Oh, that. I don't know, man. It's a shark fin. It's badass. Do I need to draw you a diagram? So, you're probably wondering why I'm here, right?
Uh-huh.
I have come to you in your time of need. I see that the unbearable task of selecting a movie to watch from a streaming service has left you more deflated than the tires on Jabba the Hutt's bicycle.
Yeah.
Well, I'm here to change that.
Okay.
Do you remember physical media? All those VHS tapes and DVDs you used to watch?
Yeah.
Do you remember in college when you lived alone and you were too cheap to buy internet or cable, and all you had was that crusty VHS player and those 3 VHS tapes?
Yeah, I had Ed Wood, The Big Lebowski, and Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Why?
Those movies, those tangible tapes, they kept you company and they helped you maintain your sanity.
They really did.
Then, after college, you used that art degree that your dad forced you to get to land a high-paying job and you started collecting DVDs. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember rolling your joints on your Gremlins DVD case?
Yeah.
Do you remember having philosophical conversations with your Point Break Blu-ray?
Keanu, what's the meaning of life?
Cowabunga.
Yeah, dude.
Do you remember kissing Arnold's photo on your Terminator 2 Judgment Day Special Edition DVD case every night before you went to sleep?
No.
Well, you did. And then you sold all your DVDs to buy that ambulance that you remodeled into a food truck that only sold ham.
The ambulance.
You thought you weren't going to need physical media anymore. But you've learned that wasn't the case, haven't you?
Yeah.
You can have physical media in your life again with the help of Scarecrow Video.
Bearflow Video?
Scarecrow Video.
Airflow Video.
Let me help you, you sentient sack of rutabagas.
Oh, Scarecrow Video.
You are an idiot. But I'm here to tell you that Scarecrow Video will deliver DVDs right to your door. You can get up to 6 DVDs at a time. That's 6 DVDs at a time.
Do they have Gleaming the Cube?
Yes, they literally have over 140,000 movies.
Do they have Pump Up the Volume?
Yes,
Do they have Heathers?
of course they have Heathers. They also have movies that star people other than Christian Slater.
Tight.
Scarecrow Video can bring physical media back into your life. Physical media. Physical media.
Come back, physical media. Come back. Huh? Physical media?
You lie.
And we're back.
Yeah, I was going to say welcome back, but you have not left. Welcome back to us.
Welcome back to us. So while we were off screen, you guys saw some really cool videos. We've raised a little money.
Got some money.
We raised a little money.
Oops, put this on the bucket shelf over here.
Bucket
Jeez.
shelf.
Jesus, everything's falling apart, literally.
We are at $5,459.
Woo!
Thank you. This is awesome. And we got some shout outs, people who made these donations. So I'm just gonna say your first names, not to like blow up your spot.
This is very small printing, by the way.
Yeah.
So just bear with us.
That's why I'm like this. Thanks Jihi, thanks Candace, thanks Trey, who says, double mystery box please, go Scarecrow. We'll get you that double mystery box.
Oh, hell yeah.
Adelaide, thank you so much. She says, can I use my year of free rentals for rent by mail? I would pay for the shipping. I just want to make my gift go further.
Yeah, I mean, renting by mail is the same as renting in the store. They're just rentals. So yeah, the rentals will count for that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she says,
asked and answered.
I've been enjoying rent by mail even though I live in Seattle. I have a compromised immune system and like to limit my interactions. Totally, we get it.
Absolutely.
We're here for you, whether you can come in the store or whether you can't come in the store and you live around here, or if you live in Florida.
Yeah.
You know?
And maybe if you just like trading cards from 90s movies, join our rent by mail program, because I send one out with every order. So.
Or maybe you're just busy. You know what I mean? People have busy lives.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Dan, thank you. Dan says, thanks for all you do. Can't rent from you up here in Toronto, but I've had $50 worth of fun from your shows and content at least.
Nice.
Stoked for the pint glass. You can read this on the telethon if you want or whatever.
Well,
good thing you said that I can, because I was.
Well, we did. And again, pint glass. They're great.
And then thanks, Joshua. What a lovely spring Saturday. The Scarecrow video telethon takes me back to those PBS fun drives with George Ray. Beef. I don't understand.
It's beef. It's
a PBS joke.
It's what's for dinner, maybe. We got some
Where's the
messages. We got some nice messages on YouTube complimenting our hair
Yeah, we each have
and my
new
suit.
haircuts.
Thanks, Kelly.
And he has this nice suit. Anything else cool?
No, someone says we can't see the merch table. Yeah, which that
That's
I got.
the magic. of cinema.
Troy, our fan of our Viva
Yeah, he's
Physical
our
Media
fan.
show. He's a fan of us.
He's our fan.
He asked if I was going to do some crooning in this suit, and maybe stick around. I
You
think,
did in the holiday special?
Yeah, that's definitely not off the table. Just not right now.
If you have any
but,
requests.
a couple hours from now, who knows? Things
If
get
you
crazy.
make a significant enough donation and with a little request, Kevin might sing some songs.
I'll sing a whole dang song.
Sing a whole dang song.
A whole dang song.
let's
I'm trying to keep the swears under control because it's early.
Yeah.
Maybe there's children wandering around in front of the television or whatever.
Yeah, we'll wait till after 3 to really drop those.
That's when they're in bed.
Yeah, after 3, put them to bed. We'll start swearing. Let's talk about rental by mail.
Let's talk about rent by mail because we just had that great video from Ryan that was about our rent by mail, and then we've got a few customers who were talking about rent by mail. So let's talk about rent by mail program, which is a thing that I'm well acquainted with since I'm the one who handles all of the rent by mail stuff around here. So if you're ever emailing, it's generally me answering your rent by mail questions. So I hope I wasn't rude. What our rent by mail program? That's part of the reason we're trying to upgrade this is that we have an infrastructure online that will be much easier to use. The way it is now is not. It's not difficult, but it's not the easiest system in the world. It involves several different emails back and forth between us. What we want to do is get more of a streamlined system so that it'll be like you order it and it's pretty much ready to go. You get a tracking number and it's out the door. But the system we have now is working, and we're mailing up to, what do we say, up to
25 states.
25 different states we have customers.
I mean, we could do all the states, but right now we have customers in 25 states that are enjoying Scarecrow, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's crazy. We're just still growing, I guess.
Yeah. And I know we have a couple different customers in New York City that I do a lot, in Texas for sure.
The cool places.
And we have some rent by mail testimonials that'll be up a couple times throughout the show. So thank you, you guys who sent those in.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Thanks for that.
Our goal is just to make everything here, all of these movies that in some cases you can't find anywhere else, accessible to you, whether you live down the street or across the country. So any donation that you make, even sharing this video or telling people to tune into the live stream, or have you heard about Scarecrow Video, that does wonders in helping us promote the message of getting these movies out there.
And we have the largest movie collection in the world pretty much
Literally
here,
in the world.
It's the rent by mail program is awesome because it's kind of giving you access to all kinds of stuff that isn't available anywhere else, but is all available here.
I'm looking at 200 movies right now.
Just straight right over there. Just over there. I know. It's crazy.
So yeah, if you have more questions about rent by mail, please email us, scarecrow@scarecrow.com. Or is there a better one for rent by mail?
Yeah, there's also the RBM, campaigns@scarecrow.com. These email addresses are all somewhere on our website. if you, I don't think they're all below. I don't want to lie and say just click the thing below.
You can find them somewhere, and it'll be easier to find them once we get a brand new website.
Exactly. So again, thank you so much for your donations so far.
Yay.
Don't quit donating. Keep doing that, but keep watching too. And
we got some fun stuff.
We got fun stuff. And actually, speaking of RBM customers, we've got a video coming up that was sort of a testimonial, sort of just a little advertisement that they made for our rent by mail program. So thanks for that. And here you go. We'll be back in a bit.
Hey babe, do you want to watch Dogma?
Yeah, I can't find it though.
Anywhere?
Yeah, no, it's not on anything. Let's just get it from Scarecrow.
That's 3 hours away.
No, remember they do rental by mail now.
Thank you, Scarecrow. Once again, you saved the day.
Thanks, Scarecrow.
Oh, hi, everyone.
Hey.
Sorry for all the terror. We're standing outside the world-famous Scarecrow Psychotronic Room.
It's one of the favorite rooms in our house. Is what I was
It's
gonna
one of the
say.
favorite rooms in our house.
It's one of the favorite rooms in our house.
Let's go take a look. Come on.
Let's go.
Welcome.
Look what I just found on top of the shelf.
When we're putting movies away, how do you put movies away in here?
I start with zombies.
Well,
Kevin, where do
I
you
always start on this side, and then I go this way, and then I end at Z in zombies. So.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
If you ask anyone who works here, everyone has their own special routes and ways of putting away things and grabbing things.
So, right at the door, you got joysticks, movies based on video games, and just regular games like Clue.
Then down here you have like horror authors like Clive Barker. We got the Candyman and the Hellraiser movies down here. Ray Bradbury, Robert E. Howard, M.R. James, and then this little guy, Stephen King. Stephen King goes all the way here. Anything that was directed by like one of our big directors in the directors section, like Christine is going to be down in Carpenter. We have H.P. Lovecraft, so we got like Reanimator stuff.
The next three sections actually used to be in a bigger section called Vengeful Acts of a Wrathful God, but they at some point got split up. So we start with disaster, and that's any kind of, disaster movie. The Earth's gonna not exist anymore and blow up and shit. Which moves into post-apocalypse, which is after the Earth is blown up and shit. And then this one doesn't relate to the Earth ending mostly, but it's nature gone amok, and it's kind of any kind of an animal that's gone crazy, like a movie we profiled on our show earlier, Dogs.
After Nature Gone Amok, we have our Bigfoot section. You might see some of these like shelf talkers where like some employees will write little comments on movies. We also have these for the Bigfoot section is sponsored by one of our donors, John Portanova, who also directed one of these movies, Valley of the Sasquatch. Christploitation, which has the Omen movies, the Prophecy movies that I was talking about a couple of episodes ago.
Sci-fi goes over here. We all know what sci-fi is. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. Some of them are crazy monsters from space.
And then like blockbusters like Pacific Rim. You can find some of those there
absolutely. Which is the fantasy section. Not as big as the sci-fi section. Not as mighty either, but we do get some classics in here, Beastmaster. It's a good mix of stuff in here.
Yeah, like nightmarish things from your childhood. You can probably find a few there.
There's like a birth scene in Beastmaster that gave me fucking nightmares for years. And actually, it's still pretty fucking terrifying. And then fantasy leads to Ray Harryhausen, the kind of the master of stop motion animation, a god to special effects guys. Pseudotronic section, which I think used to be two sections. It used to be Trauma and Pseudotronic, but then the Trauma section just folded in there. And it's mostly that kind of stuff, horror movies, sci-fi movies, gross out stuff that's in on the joke. That kind of thing. Hammer films, a little section of all the Hammer films here. And I haven't seen a lot of these, actually. It's a big blind spot.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of Hammer either.
Anybody who's watching, recommend some Hammer films to me. Classic sci-fi. It's like the regular sci-fi, but classic.
Then it goes into Euro horror, which is some of my favorite stuff. Angst, which is a really good, pretty messed up movie. Just European horror that is usually a little more intense. Giallo, Italian horror murder mystery slasher whodunit.
We have like an hour of superfan Corey Brewer sitting in front of a fake fireplace talking about he watched the entire section. He watched all of them. Hong
Kong horror, Japanese horror, Korean horror, Thai horror. It's just kind of breaking it up into different regions and countries.
Mexico section is almost all Santo movies or Mexican wrestlers fighting monsters. A lot of it is. Mondo, which you're a big fan of.
Yeah, I like Mondo a lot.
Yeah. You actually just grabbed a bunch of those for our box art round.
Yeah, so all the coolest stuff isn't here right now. Baskin's really good. Yeah, and Mondo Macabro is also like a distribution company as well. Yeah. But that doesn't mean everything in here is by them.
No. Horror anthologies are generally a mixed bag. I don't know if there's a perfect one, although I do watch Trick or Treat every Halloween. I think it's pretty great.
So this is a really fun section, especially around Halloween time. If you want to get in the spirit, it's kind of a grab bag.
And then we go down to Cannibals. Contains my favorite horror movie of all time. Demons, which is a big section because there's a lot of movies, horror movies, that are like unnameable force Final Destination movies. It's death stalking them, so it's kind of like, where do you put that? It's not a stalker movie because it's not an actual killer. It's not sci-fi really. Demons, you know, whatever.
One good thing I think about the ghost section is if you're looking to like introduce a younger, like a sibling or a kid to horror movies, a lot of ghost movies or things that are found in our ghost section, a lot of them are rated PG-13 because I guess just ghosts aren't as bloody or like crass. Ghost Ship, which is me and my friend Keegan's one of our favorite movies when we were 13. So if you have like a teen who wants to start, like a young teen or preteen who wants to start getting into horror, this is a good section to look in.
Little Bastards, which is for the most part like little monsters, you know, critters, if you will. Mad scientists.
Human Centipede.
Yeah, you know, that kind of stuff. A classic here, Frankenhooker. Can't go wrong with Frankenhooker.
Yeah, you can. Then this leads into our stalkers, slashers, and sadists, but we just call it our stalkers section. It's so massive, but it has like all the franchise, like Friday the 13th and the Halloween movies, any sort of like serial killer that's not based on an actual serial killer, because we actually have a serial killer section in the Murder Mystery Suspense Room. Summer camp like killer movies and stuff like that. You can find some good stuff, but you can also find some really terrible stuff in here. Slashers with the money sign.
Ooh.
Are you game?
Are you? And there's bad good stuff like Mr. Ice Cream Man.
Yeah, give it a watch.
Which everybody should give a watch. It is a weird movie. Not to be confused with The Ice Cream Man, starring Clint Howard. Yeah, vampire movies. You all know what vampires are.
Yeah, we don't really need to tell you.
This is them.
This is a great one. Vamp. Grace Jones is amazing in this movie. Look at her.
Werewolves, which is actually a much smaller section than you'd think, being how, you know, famous the werewolf is as a monster. You got some classics in here like Dog Soldiers, Ginger Snaps.
Howling 2.
Or my favorite, Howling 3, the marsupials.
And then we go to Witches and Warlocks. Angel Heart. Remember when he peels his eggs?
Also, like another Mondo Macabro title, great Mondo Macabro title, Alucarda.
I almost grabbed that, but then I was
great
like, I
witch
think
movie.
I just like this movie. I don't like the cover that much.
No, the cover's not great, but it's a great movie. And then at the very end of the room,
or the very beginning,
or the very beginning, depending on how you look at it, zombies. It's a more open section than you'd think. I mean, it's mostly zombie movies, like, you know, Romero-inspired zombie movies, but also includes things like Phantasm.
Have you guys seen Pathogen?
We have seen. We actually, yes, I watched it years ago. The one directed by the 12-year-old girl in Austin.
Check this out.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll talk
What's she
about
been
this.
up to?
I don't know.
If you know her, or if you are her and you're watching this, let us know what you've been up to.
Yeah, Emily M. Haggins. How old are you now?
Have you been making movies still? What's going on?
Email us, girl. We got these fake spider webs up year round.
Yeah, I think they went up as a Halloween decoration and they just never came down.
Yep, top.
We do have some big
The big top
box
shelf.
VHS. This is just a problem because we are
we're just running out of room.
Yeah.
We are forever out of room in this store, so this is one of our solutions. That's all for us from the psychotronic room this time.
Yeah. Bye.
So this is a one-of-a-kind piece. There's no other one like this particular one in the world. And you can see the tracks go this way. And it's really cool because it records much more accurately than... Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
Okay, ready to roll.
Ready.
We need a graphic illustration of how this process works. Our illustration comes in the form of this model, which is an enlargement of a piece of videotape. Each of these diagonal tracks represents picture information recorded by a video head. Notice that adjacent tracks are at different angles, commonly called azimuths. Now, this happens for all the tracks, but we've only illustrated it on these few. Now, each colored track represents one field, and it takes a pair of these fields to create one frame of video. These frames are the electronic equivalent of frames of movie film, except you won't see a picture by holding videotape up to the light. You won't see the diagonal tracks either. Recorded videotape contains 30 of these frames, or 60 fields per second.
Video. It's the only way to get what you want to watch when you want to watch it. Action, adventure, horror, comedy, drama, suspense, romance. Great entertainment. Always a great value.
Video, it's what you want to watch.テープ作ったりして。
日本全国津々たらた。
Oh, I do enjoy an evening with a little light entertainment. But when your video heads get dirty, you lose your picture. Not a pretty sight. Happily, this new Polaroid video cassette will help you. It actually cleans your heads as it plays, so dirty heads needn't haunt you. New Polaroid video cassettes. Get the picture?
Oh, shit.
Available now at your video retailer. Paul Sorvino, Michael Learned, and Adam Arkin star in It Couldn't Happen to a Nicer Guy. Available now at your video retailer. Academy Award nominee Anthony Hopkins stars in Blunt, the Fourth Man.
Is it live or is it Memorex?
Hi, today we're hitting home in the living room, my living room. I'm Joan London, and welcome to the really exciting world of home video. I can watch what I want, when I want. And I can be gone and come home and have my favorite shows waiting for me. In fact, I can see major motion pictures at home while they're still at the theater. Not to mention aerobic exercising. And cooking recipes. And they won't go too fast for me because I can stop and go back to every last detail. We'd like to help you make the most of your machine.
Sparky. Sparky. インテリジェントターボメガネ、ジョグシャトル。これが僕の世代のビデオだ。すごい。パナソニック、ハイファイマックロード F70。
Welcome back to us again. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying these animations that Will did. He did the art here too, but he did these awesome animations. He's not with us today.
He's no longer with us
because he's getting his second vaccine shot.
Yeah,
so
but we wanted to give him a shout out because he's the best.
He did all these cool animations and all the great artwork on the bumper stickers and the T-shirts and everything. And also want to give a shout out to our friend Laird in Austin. Hi, Laird. Thanks for that awesome video, the Viva Physical Media video. It literally, when I watched it the first time, made me LOL like 3 times. So, and that's in an 8-minute video. That's pretty good.
And you know what, Laird? We're really excited to see you.
Oh, well, yeah, we'll see you in Austin
because
September.
Fantastic Fest is happening. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm excited. Okay, anyways.
Enough about us. Also, you saw their room tour. We're going to have more of those throughout, and that was the one that Emily and I did for Viva Physical Media.
Psychotronic Room.
Several episodes ago, the Psychotronic Room. But we'll see more. We're going to have more people showing you different sections in the store. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's that, and...
That is that. So we...
Oh, we got more money.
We keep raising money.
We got more money. Look at that. We got more money here.
6242. My favorite number.
That's not my favorite number. My favorite number is
25,000. Oh dang.
Or and up. That's my favorite number.
It's got to be with that suit.
Where's my notes? Here it is. Coming up, we have a few more cool things. We have first we have a thing from the Sprocket Society, which is, well, I'm going to read what they sent me.
Yeah, do it.
Since 2008, Sprocket Society has been presenting movie screenings around Seattle, always on actual film. The programming includes classic movies, silent and experimental cinema, monster flicks, movie serials, and more. They're also a nonprofit. And to support us today, they put together a bunch of 16mm shorts pulled from their secret archives. These were made between 1907 and 1973. And they were filmed at the Grand Illusion. And anyway, they say, hope you enjoy these films, and most importantly of all, that you'll support Scarecrow Video with your tax-deductible donation right now.
I love a secret archive.
All caps right now. And someone's gonna have to mention it in the comments, or someone here will have to tell me because I forget the name of the mannequin at the Grand Illusion. But you're gonna be watching all of these movies with him.
Shout out to that mannequin.
And I know he's got a name, and I can't remember it right now. And I meant to ask beforehand, and I feel terrible for not doing that now.
So yeah, make a donation. Check us out on our website. Keep tuning in. We're gonna be here till 8 p.m. There's a chat going on.
Yeah.
Down below.
Oh,
Get
right.
involved. Is there any cool stuff going on?
There was a good comment from a friend Jen Kugler, who used to work here, and she said, on one of my first days working at Scarecrow, I had to alphabetize the psychotronic room. Some of the covers in the horror section were so gross I almost threw up.
Dang. Yeah, there were some rough ones up there.
And Laird recommended I watch Curse of the Werewolf from the Hammer section, and that is actually one of the only Hammer movies I've seen. So, but it is a good one with Oliver Reed. You can't go wrong with Oliver Reed. And that's
everyone's just having fun.
Yeah, everyone's just having a good time. Whoa.
What?
I'm just looking at my phone. This is terrible. That's terrible TV.
That's
bad. We'll cut all this part, right? This isn't live, is it?
No. Yeah, it is.
Oh, no.
But yeah, phones are ringing. Thank you guys for your support. We have so many fun videos that are coming up just ahead, around the river bend. We're going to get progressively more relaxed and wacky, and so this is going to get more fun to watch, I promise. But yeah, Scarecrow 2.1.
Sprocket Society, enjoy this film.
Enjoy it.
روشن نکنید که میزنیم میکنه گراری رو میندازیم یه چرخ هم میندازیم در جایش چرخ فیلم است از اینجا پاهن میاریم در سر اسکراری از اینجا میاریم در لیس از اینجا میاریم در سر دیگه اسپرات بعد چالانش میکنیم اینو دی چرخ هم فیلم تیر کردیم 70 برابر میکنیم دیش رادیو هم شروع میشه تو خانه بالا میشه که نفر کل میکنه بالا میشه خانه بالا میشه خانه بالا میشه بعد نفر سیل میکنه باز چالان میشه
cornet can go, sounding hard and blue, but a hot cornet can, like Betty Boop can do. A saxophone can go, playing all night through, but a saxophone can't, like Betty Boop can do. This little miss would never miss a chance for vocal tuning, and anytime and anywhere you can hear the lady crooning. An auto horn can down the avenue, but an auto horn can, like Betty Boop can do. Need a pen and ink, she can win you with a wink. Ain't she cute? Sweet Betty.
Attention, please, ladies and gentlemen, to the left we have the largest suspended show, and to the right we have the largest and the best. To the left we have the holding there. To the right, to the left, right, left, right, left, right.
Now, will someone let me have a handkerchief?
Here you are.
Watch very carefully. Always works. Thank you.
Keep loose,
and get an eyeful right here.
High and low for a big car as good as a Volkswagen, maybe you should look into our big car, the Volkswagen 411. It has some things no Volkswagen ever had, like 4 big doors and lots of room and luxury for the whole family. It has some advanced things most cars don't have, like electronic fuel injection, an automatic preheating system, and a big trunk up front. But you don't have to be a genius to drive the 411 because it comes with an automatic transmission also as standard equipment. So now, there's a Volkswagen big enough for just about everyone. The Volkswagen 411 4-door sedan.
I have in my hand, and have had in my possession for the past 34 years, a part of the intermittent mechanism of the first machine which projected pictures on the screen with an intermittent movement. It has figured in quite a number of patent cases, and I value it highly for its historic interest. It is, as you see, a very crude and entirely impractical apparatus compared with the elaborate and perfect machines of today, but it did its work nevertheless sufficiently well to base a very broad claim for patent. This piece of mechanism consists of an Edison kinetoscope sprocket mounted upon a mutilated gear. It was exceedingly noisy and never exhibited outside of my office in the summer of 1895. Following this machine, I devised another apparatus, two of which I have before me. The one that I have my hand on now was the first one made, followed by this one, which was substantially like the first one, but heavier and more substantially built. After I had built this machine and was satisfied with its working, I found it necessary to secure a supply of films. The only available films at that date were Edison kinetoscope films, and it became necessary for me to make some arrangement with the Edison company to secure a supply of these films. I got in touch with Messrs. Raff and Gammon in the month of December 1895, and Raff and Gammon were the agents for the kinetoscope. And I invited Mr. Gammon to come over to Washington to see my projecting machine. Mr. Gammon was exceedingly skeptical and delayed coming until I finally offered to pay all of his expenses. He finally came over. I found him a very agreeable gentleman and a typical promoter, very handsomely dressed, tall silk hat and long Prince Albert coat with quite a considerable of what we call front. He was still very skeptical about the machine, but I invited him down into the basement of my office where I had the machine in operation, and as soon as he saw it, I saw by his expression that he was delighted with the results. We then began to negotiate for some sort of a contract by means of which I could secure Edison films and he could secure a model of this machine. Subsequent to that, I was invited over to New York, or rather over to Orange, New Jersey, to give an exhibition for Mr. Edison's benefit and for the purpose of inducing him to make the machines. This reminds me of an amusing experience. I was impressed with the way both Messrs. Gammon and Raff dressed, and I felt it was more or less incumbent upon me to dress in a somewhat similar way. A short time before this, I had been an usher, or best man, at a country wedding, and I, for that occasion, supplied myself with a silk hat and a long Prince Albert coat. I dusted off the silk hat and shook out the Prince Albert coat and dressed myself up in these things before I went over to see Mr. Edison and give the exhibition. It must have been a rather funny sight, I think. Mr. Edison came down to the foundry where we were giving the exhibition, dressed in a suit of clothes that looked to me as if it might have cost $4.95, and all the rest of us were dressed up in these tall silk hats and long Prince Albert coats. It was a funny scene, I imagine. The exhibition I have just referred to occurred in the foundry of the Edison Manufacturing Company in the month of January or February 1896. As a result of this exhibition and interview, Mr. Edison agreed to make 80 machines for the use of Messrs. Raff and Gammon and myself, and he also agreed to supply the necessary films for use on these machines. 80 machines at that date seemed to be a large order. Subsequent to this, I gave the first exhibition ever given in a theater at Coster & Beale's Theater on 14th Street in the city of New York in the month of April 1896. Looking back to that date, it seems almost unbelievable that the palaces that are now devoted to moving picture exhibitions should have sprung up in the short period of 33 or 4 years.
thought you were killing that plane crash in France a year ago.
So did everyone. Even the news service I reported for. That's why I became Spy Smasher, so I could fight the Nazis on their own ground. Now it's time to fight them here, in the United States.
Now, will you admit you're a secret agent for the United States government?
No.
Captain Durand, you know this man?
I have never seen him before, Herr Lazar.
We know him as Spy Smasher. You'll have your firing squad ready in an hour.
These lenses, I can turn the inside of this mountain into hot, molten rock. No one, not even Captain Marvel, can survive that.
Shazam!
My name is Vern, also known as DJ No Retreat, No Surrender when I play records on Video Store Day. I like the soundtracks from classic hip-hop movies. Wild Style being the best of those. The one thing I like more than soundtrack albums is covers of soundtracks. And I like albums where people are covering Shaft. Here's Shaft by Soul Man and the Brothers. This is the theme from Shaft by The Generation Gap. The Man from Shaft, which is an album by Richard Roundtree. And it's produced by Eugene McDaniels, if you know who that is. And this is really cool because this is a band I already liked. And then I find out that they have an album where they mostly just play songs from the Superfly soundtrack. And I picked out a few of my other favorites. Here's a 12-inch single of a song from the Dick Tracy movie, but it's not by Madonna and it's not by Danny Elfman. It's by Ice-T. It really is Ice-T rapping about the Dick Tracy characters. This is the Ghost Dog score by the RZA, one of my favorite soundtracks ever. Unfortunately, they only released it in Japan at the time, but luckily they released this on vinyl last year. Look how beautiful that is. This is the Superfly TNT soundtrack. This is a really underrated movie. It takes place in Africa, so the soundtrack is by a band from Ghana called Osibisa. The movie is actually written by Alex Haley, and you can only find it on VHS, but they have it at Scarecrow. This is a movie called The Greatest, starring Muhammad Ali playing Muhammad Ali. The song The Greatest Love of All is actually the theme song for this. Whitney Houston is covering the version by George Benson. This band Mandrill is really good. I have a lot of Star Wars related albums. Empire Jazz is a good one. But my favorite is actually this one. Here's pretty much my favorite song to play. It's called E.T. Boogie by the Extra T's. Yes, it's a novelty song about E.T., but it's a really good electro-funk song that's sampled by Busta Rhymes. And I have a lot of Stallone-related albums, the Rocky soundtracks and Rambo, things like that, but this one is special. Rambo by Wayne Scott. It's a hot track, and this guy is a Stallone impersonator that supposedly is singing this great song about Rambo. And those are pretty much my favorites.
I think.
You're up.
Hey.
Oh, hi.
We were just talking about pockets.
We're talking about how many. I have so many pockets. Emily has 0
I have
pockets.
none. It's because I'm a woman.
Yeah, and this is a fake pocket. So.
Are you sure you can't just like split seams and then it's a real pocket? Because some of them do that.
Yeah, but it would ruin the suit.
Well, okay, never mind. Anyways.
So thanks to local film critic Vern.
Yeah.
For that, author of Sagology and also my favorite book of 2020, Worm on a Hook, which is the best action movie / horror movie you'll ever read. So pick them up, look it up, and pick one of those up. What do we got going on?
What else did we have here?
Well, thanks to Sprocket Society for that awesome thing. Oh, the dummy's name is Jimmy, I'm told by a bunch of.
Yeah.
So if you ever go to the Grand Illusion, when the Grand Illusion is safely open again, everybody get vaccinated. When
Yeah.
the Grand Illusion's open again, go in there and say hi to Jimmy. Say you saw him on the Scarecrow Telethon, watching movies, and.
We got some.
We got some messages coming our way now. Sorry about stalling there.
Oh wow. Oh okay.
So.
Thanks for all your donations. Always. We got some people we want to give a shout out to. Kevin, you should start it off.
I'll start it here.
Yeah.
We got one from Mike. He says, "May your store live long and prosper." Thanks. Wait, no wait. This? Right. Yeah, that. Oh no! That's
Just kidding.
live.
I'm just kidding.
This is live.
I hope you guys blurred that out.
There's a delay, so it'll get blurred out.
We have some that we already talked about. But Harris says, I love you, Scarecrow. Harry.
We got Will. Will here says, I absolutely love Scarecrow. I truly feel privileged to have it in my home and city and love renting and buying from you. I'm also really enjoying your web shows, Viva Physical Media, and Our House to the Fart House. Long live Scarecrow!
Yay, thanks for watching.
Thanks, Will.
I already said the Harry one. Mm-hmm. Shout out to John, and shout out to Peter, who I think I went to college with.
That's when we saw. We got a shout out to Richard, and then here's our buddy Dan Gorman, who has sent us some cool swag on our show via Physical Media.
We already
episode
read
the
this
last
one.
You read Dan's already?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy,
You were right next to me.
I wasn't paying attention.
Sometimes
I'm not.
And then shout out to Christopher. Shout out to Christina. I hope you'll seriously think about a Scarecrow calendar. Hubba Hubba Jensen Ward. And you know what? I
do it. All 12 months.
I really want, if you guys also would love a Scarecrow, a men Scarecrow calendar.
I've been trying to sell it for years.
I think they should do it. Please show your support in the comments below. Thank you.
Thanks to Pamela. Thanks to Jake. Hi, Jake. Jihi.
I shouted them out last time.
Jonathan, really?
Yeah.
No, Jonathan didn't. You said
Jihi though.
He says make Matt renounce his hateful opinions on the 1962 Cape Fear.
No one can make Matt do anything.
Exactly.
so there's that.
Jen Kugler, hi Jen. Donated to keep Scarecrow alive in recognition of how well dressed Kevin and Emily are. Looking good, folks.
Yeah, thank you.
I try sometimes.
Molly says, Emily, I love your earrings. Thanks, Molly. Shout out to Candace.
Yeah. And then I think some of these other ones we got, Trey. Oh, my friend Laura. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Laura.
She didn't say anything, so I'm not, no message there. And did we read these ones already? Ryan.
We didn't
Michael.
read Ryan.
Ryan says, thanks for keeping physical media alive. Or thanks for keeping media physical, sorry.
Yeah.
Boy, I really blew that.
Jesus.
Michael. Thanks, Michael.
Thanks, Patrick, who says 33 more years.
Yep.
Yeah, at least.
Thanks, Lael and Ben and Patrick. Actually, and Patrick, that's a good segue because
my God, it's so perfect.
we actually have a video in our next section coming up of Patrick giving a tour of the Almodovar section, and it was a pleasure to meet you, Patrick, and film that. And we also have a couple other things. We have another section tour of John, who, if you're sending any of these donations to, is the guy collecting these. So everybody at home, give a hand to John for all his hard work behind the scenes. And he's going to be giving you some recommendations from the documentary room. And then we also have a montage of stuff from the Z Channel, which was, I believe, down in California and Los Angeles area, was like this crazy. They showed all these crazy movies back in the day, back even before video stores. So that's where people would watch all these wild old horror movies and exploitation movies and stuff.
Yeah.
This is going to be a montage of that from the Museum of Home Video. So thanks you guys for providing us with that. That's awesome. And that's what's coming up. Everybody keep watching, keep donating, keep that coming in. Keep sending us messages. If you want to say more nice things about how we look, we're totally a fan of that.
We also have everyone's favorite alien.
Oh, so he's coming up sometime.
We're
going to have a visit from everyone's favorite alien. I'm
really excited.
I'm pretty excited too. This is actually a pretty cool get. I was not expecting that coming in here today, and then we found out we had everyone's favorite alien was going to show up at some point.
I think today's going to be full of surprises, so you guys don't want to miss what happens next. In the meantime, we got these great videos coming up.
Yeah, we have some stuff coming up. So here's John to start it off with the tour of the documentary room. We'll be back in a bit.
Soon.
Hey, I'm John. I work at Scarecrow, and I'm going to give you a tour of the documentary room. The documentary room is one of my favorite places at Scarecrow. There is just so much to get lost in here. It starts with directors, Barbara Koppel, of course, Jeff Krulik, who is a part of the live stream today, Frederick Wiseman. One of the only good things about the pandemic is it got me into Frederick Wiseman because I had the time to watch these incredibly long and wonderful documentaries. Also, another thing that we all missed during the pandemic is travel, and this is a great way to vicariously experience it. Health documentaries. You know, when my wife was pregnant, we loaded up on these, and it was actually, like, really helpful. Space? Who doesn't love space? Atomic docs. Like, there's some great, like, old atomic scare films that are just amazing. Something weird compilations of atomic scare films are amazing. Science. Cats and dogs. Of course, you can't go wrong with the Rue McClanahan Cat Care Video Guide. Nature documentaries. Yeah, Microcosmos. Great documentary about bugs. Ancient history, world culture, American history, Western docs, and my kind of, you can't go wrong with this section that I'm going to linger on for a bit is the American culture section, which is just kind of like a catch-all for uncategorized documentaries that were made by American filmmakers or have American subjects. I'm going to grab a bunch and like recommend them to you. At the Drive-In, recent, it's a documentary about drive-ins. It really reminds me of like the Scarecrow experience, because instead of like talking heads saying, oh, drive-ins are great, it's these people in Pennsylvania who are trying to keep a drive-in running in this day and age. Billy the Kid is an amazing documentary about a 15-year-old kid with autism and like the challenges he faces. Bronies, of course, about gentlemen who like My Little Pony. Buck is a great kind of like real-life horse whisperer, really life-affirming documentary. Something that I think Scarecrow fans would enjoy, Cinemania. That's the theme song pronunciation. It's just a bunch of freaks who like spend all day at the movies every day. Exporting Raymond is the story of, what's his name? Phil Rosenthal, the guy who created Everybody Loves Raymond. I hate Everybody Loves Raymond, and this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. His experience recreating it in another country. Finders Keepers. The story of a prosthetic leg trying to find its way back to its owner, which has so many twists and turns. Hands on a Hard Body. This is a contest where whoever stays with their hand on a truck the longest wins the truck. The Lifestyles USA collection, which we don't even have all of. Just get this. Hours and hours and hours and hours of old travel films, old industrial films, old corporate films, public service films, really cool old animation, weird celebrities like pop up. Vincent Price plays Lincoln in one, and just pick any of them at random. I've never been disappointed by these. Motel, we just did a member screening for this, a great documentary from the late 80s about motels in America, kind of framed as a road trip. It takes some unexpected turns. Queen of Versailles, a great movie about garbage rich people. Recent discovery, and this is our PAL copy. It's just like 4 hours of a road trip in USA in like 1989. Slice of life type stuff, but also like they capture like political rallies. They spend time with like Jesse Jackson, I think Billy Graham, and first person account of history. And there's a layer of extra weirdness. One of the documentarians is playing a doctor, and he's not really a doctor. Scrabble-On, not our only documentary about competitive Scrabble. Of course, the classic Spellbound, about a bunch of kids in spelling bees. So good. Stevie, the person who made Hoop Dreams, he had been a big brother to this guy, and after he had like success with Hoop Dreams, he went back to his hometown to check in on this guy. Kind of like a heartbreaking documentary about like the public systems kind of did to this guy. Streetwise, of course, like we're going to get a Criterion of that soon, which is really exciting. It's homeless youth filmed on the streets of Seattle. Strongman, just one of those like quirky character documentaries. This guy is a strongman, and it just follows him in his life. Three Identical Strangers, like this absolutely bonkers story about like fertility clinics gone wrong and people who are related who didn't know they were related. Tickled, which is one of my favorites from recent years. People who enjoy being tickled, and has a lot of twists. What could go wrong there? Winnebago Man, of course, this guy who did advertising spots for his RV company and had an anger problem and was captured on film exhibiting that a lot. The Wolf Pack, fascinating story about a group of kids who basically aren't allowed to leave their apartment, so the only way they access the world is through movies and such, and so they do lots of dress up as characters, and it's just a weird and great story. Word Wars, more Scrabble. Word Play, which is about crosswords. Yeah, so those are some of my favorites. The documentary section continues. We've got great stuff on philosophers, like in our Mind section. We've got civil rights documentaries, women's issues. The Seattle interest stuff and Exploration Northwest, those are great binders to look at because it's like our area, like at different like slices of history, and it's really interesting not just to watch what the subjects are about, but also to see where we live and what it looked like long ago. Thank you so much for watching today. Thanks a lot for your interest in and support of Scarecrow Video. We could not do this stuff without you.
You are watching the Z Channel, a service of Theta Cable Television.
The Z Channel presents Something for Everyone, starring Angela Lansbury and Michael York, part of our Sleeper series.
The Z Channel staff and management would like to help start the new year off with a treat. On January 1st at 1 a.m., the Z Channel will preview the Academy Award-winning motion picture, Rocky.
Gene Shalit of NBC TV says, let's say it right at the beginning. Rocky is one of the best movies of the year. Rocky, starring Sylvester Stallone. Rated PG.
That's January 1st at 1 a.m. Don't miss it.
Across America. It's a cross-country road race, death race 2000.
They've declared war on the race and on you.
David Carradine, Death Race 2000, rated R.
Z Channel presents a preview of next week's coming attractions.
Welcome to this edition of Z Magazine of the Year. Please join me for a preview of the coming attractions for week number 6, which begins on April 24th and runs until the end of the month. The last week of our current magazine has all different kinds of features, including the works of such talents as Brian De Palma, David O. Selznick, and this Stanley Kubrick classic. This film could very well have played as part of our Request Playhouse, or even the Fantasy Film Festival, but it's got an almost fanatical following, which brings it under the umbrella of cult cinema. This 1971 release will be on Saturday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Our international theater presentation for the week is a powerful film from the United Kingdom called The Executive Syndrome. It stars Alan Bates as a man at the peak of his career, yet he suffers from disillusionment, which can almost be termed the syndrome of success. In our tribute to John Lennon, we'll be presenting this 1968 Richard Lester film. It's a rare opportunity to see John Lennon in his only non-Beatle leading role. One of our full week features for next week is this family-type film.
Heaven only knows.
The Double MacGuffin will be on every day next week, except Tuesday. We hope you enjoy it.
The following is a special preview of an awards consideration screening.
Hello, Scarecrow Video. My name is Patrick Sweat. I am a Spanish teacher in Seattle, and I've been a customer of Scarecrow Video since 1997. When I first moved to Seattle, I discovered this video store, and I've been a faithful customer forever. I've been a teacher in Seattle. I teach Spanish for 22 years, and Scarecrow has always lent me movies and lent me even PAL VCR players to be able to show movies to my students. And some of the movies that I love to show my students are Pedro Almodóvar. Why Pedro Almodóvar? Well, first of all, there's like 25 movies you can choose from, which is a great thing. Also, it holds a very special place in my heart. Growing up in Costa Rica, a young gay teenage boy, I discovered his films and they spoke to me in a way that no other films in English or in Spanish did. I started very early watching Almodóvar. I remember going to the University of Costa Rica to the film forum classes and watching Law of Desire, which is probably the first gay movie I ever saw with Antonio Banderas when he was very, very young. And I was converted into a fan of Pedro Almodóvar. This VHS tape, by the way, which I remember renting when I was 14 years old, at the end of the VHS tape, there's the previews for Derek Jarman's Caravaggio, which forced me to watch all Derek Jarman's movies. So, you know, watching Almodóvar movies made me watch other movies by many directors and also made me get into all types of music, Chavela Vargas, the music from the Movida Madrileña, which was a movement of punk rock gays and lesbians and drug addicts in Spain in the early 80s, a response to the death of Franco. After the death of Franco, Spain had this opening called La Movida Madrileña, in Madrid mostly, and Pedro Almodóvar is one of the main voices of this art movement. I've been using these movies in my school for many years, and I will continue to do so. A couple fun things about some of these movies. As you can see, most of them are available on DVD. Some, like Pepe Lucy Bomb, is not available on DVD here in the States, but you can find it on DVD for PAL if you want to. I have it myself. Something I love about Almodóvar's movies is how, even though many scholars of film can divide his movies into like the vanguard movies, I guess, and then his more professional movies, and then his more emotional movies, and his more social movies, I like to think of all the Almodóvar movies as one group, and I cannot really break them apart. Even though there's movies that are very different ones from others, all the movies talk about each other. I think a fun thing to do, if you choose to help Scarecrow Video and come and rent all these movies one after the other, watch them in order, a great thing to do is to just watch them to find the things that each movie relates to the other movies. In every movie there's characters that are repeated. In every movie there's characters that you will find in another movie, maybe the exact same character or very different, but there's a bunch of connections between one movie and another. For example, in The Flower of My Secret, the main character is this woman who is like a romance novel writer, and she is having big trouble taking off her booties. So she runs to her friend to help her take off her boots, and her friend is a nurse, and she is giving a seminar on how to address human transplants to people who have had relatives just die. This friend is talking to a nurse called Manuela. Years later, in All About My Mother, the main character is a nurse called Manuela who works with human transplants. And these kind of things, and something that's very important is that in The Flower of My Secret, the best friend of the writer is a film director, which makes us think that probably that writer gave her script to the film director, and the film director, years later, made a movie about that story. These kind of connections happen in every single one of his movies. There's things that repeat themselves, things that if you are a fan of Almodóvar, and it's easy to become one, the movies are movies you can watch again and again and again, because every time you watch them, you're going to find more little surprises, more connections. And I'm really excited about the upcoming movie with Tilda Swinton called La Voz Humana, which is the spine of one of my very favorite movies, Law of Desire, which is also based on La Voz Humana. So we can see Almodóvar moves through time in a beautiful manner. I highly recommend it. There's 20 plus movies to choose from. If you haven't started, now is a good day. Thank you very much, and help support Scarecrow Video.
Z, you're up.
Welcome back.
Hi. We hope you enjoyed those videos. What was it? Oh, the great section tours. Thanks, Patrick. And again, thanks, John. Thanks, John, for all your hard work, and thanks for all those recommendations. And thanks, Patrick, for stopping by to talk about your love of Pedro Almodóvar.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff here at Scarecrow, as you've kind of gotten a taste of with these sections. Very blockbustery, like normal stuff, and then we also have like really strange, weird stuff. A little example of something that we just acquired literally in the last hour.
No, we got it in the mail, during that last break.
Yeah, so we just got these two, I mean, there's no way to really describe, they're video pizzas. So similar to the Yule log you might put on during Christmas time, or, I don't know, like a screensaver, like, you know what I'm talking about.
They're relaxing videos of pizzas.
Toss this on while you're while you're having like a party or get together or really just want to wind down. Anyways, this is the kind of cool shit that we have here at Scarecrow Video.
And we just got these from somebody, and they sent us a note too. Thank you for your interest in our video pizza and video Hawaiian pizza DVDs. We're all big fans of Scarecrow Video. It is known to us. Best wishes in 21. Regards, Robbie, and I can't read the last name, but thank you. Thanks, that's awesome. Also, this Hawaiian pizza, join us as this Canadian bacon and pineapple pizza rotates its way through space and time, literally, until it reaches its final destination, the beach.
So if you're looking for really random, cool, bizarre stuff like this to just set the vibe in your life, you need to check out Scarecrow, because we have this and like a million, aka like 140,000 more titles that are similarly rad and weird.
Absolutely, and all of your donations are going for our Scarecrow 2.1 upgrade, are going to help make video pizzas and all of those other great movies that both Patrick and John recommended in the last thing available to you.
Yeah, and they're going to make our website easier to navigate. They're going to make everything just more accessible for you and for people across the country from you, helping our Randall by Mail and other programs like that. Exactly. And our YouTube show, our podcast, all of our little fun extras, you're the ones who really keep this going. So thank you, because guess what, Kevin?
What?
We got some more money.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Hey!
We're at 7,707.
Not bad. We're getting up there. We're getting up there.
Lucky sevens.
Okay. Keep them coming in.
We got some shout outs as well.
We've got some more shout outs here real quick. So you start.
Okay.
I got the wrong one.
Okay. Shout out to John, who says, thank you for being my go-to resource for finding weird shit for the last 15 years. Netflix has no Bigfoot section and is thusly complete bullshit. That's true. We have a bunch of different really cool sections, as you saw in the Psychotronic room tour and the documentary room tour.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Jake, Andrew. You want to keep going from there?
Michael. Thanks to Michael. Thanks to Richard. Thanks to Corey Brewer, who did an awesome tour for our first live stream telethon of the entire Giallo section. You watched all the movies in the Giallo section.
Check that out.
Like a rundown of those. Thanks, Sam.
Thanks to Troy Barber.
Hi, Troy.
Hi, Troy. He says, thanks, Emily and Kevin. Thanks to you, I've discovered great stuff like Dawn's Party, Deep End, and Why Don't You Just Die. Check out all those movies. They're really good. And eventually I'm going to watch Fella Day thanks to the cat dude. And that cat dude is Rich, our coworker, who is also behind the camera when we do Viva Physical Media.
Yeah.
And he does cat movie reviews, which are really awesome.
The Allura Cinephile. So check out our show, and you can see Rich talking about cat movies.
Yeah.
And and hey, this next one's from our good pal Tommy Swenson, who runs the Beacon Theater and also used to work here, and is a good friend.
Shout out to the Beacon.
Hi, Tommy. Tommy says,
Tommy.
hey guys, trying to send you my entire crypto wallet as a contribution to the cause. Receiving an increasingly distressing series of messages that are almost certainly the result of some inexplicable error. I invested 6 figures into this a few months ago. What happened? Where did it all go? I'm getting really scared. Please help. What do I do? This is really, really bad. Well, unfortunately, Tommy,
we're not accepting Dogecoin
I don't know. Yeah, keep trying. Keep trying to send us your cryptocurrency. I hope things are working out better. Everybody, check out the Beacon Cinema.
Yeah, the Beacon's renting out, doing private rentals right now, and then I'm sure they're going to be starting up their awesome curating probably later this summer or something.
And we also have a video from Tommy coming up later in the show. So that's exciting. So you'll get to see him for real.
We want to shout out to Amy June, thank you. David Fox, thank you. Jody, thank you. And Fernando, thank you. Fernando says this is a second top 10 list donation on behalf of our cat, Fernando Walrus Parker. He really does have a top 10 favorite movies, so we're excited to share those and to support Scarecrow. Ann and Kevin Parker on behalf of Fernando Parker. I'm so excited to see this cat's top 10 list. Oh my gosh.
And that's one of the rewards, I think. That's one of the rewards if you get on. It's like not the non-tangible rewards, not like the t-shirts and the stickers and stuff, but there are also a bunch of rewards, and you can curate a shelf, sponsor part of the store. And share your top 10 favorites in our e-newsletter.
Only $25, and you can share your top 10 and give us some recommendations.
And so Fernando Walrus Parker, the cat, will have his top 10 shared to everybody.
Yes.
I actually can't wait to see.
I'm really excited.
Those are. Maybe once that happens, we'll share that on our YouTube show. We'll share that cat's top 10 list because
I would love to.
I'm interested to see what they are.
All right, we got an interview coming up next.
Oh, we do, yeah. Pretty cool deal. We got Jeff Krulik, who directed Heavy Metal Parking Lot and lots of other great documentaries. And it's a long interview, and so due to time constraints for this, we are only showing half of it right now. But all of it will be available on YouTube tomorrow, and the whole interview is going to be on the Scarecrow Radio podcast coming up in a couple weeks. So check that out there. But that's coming up
right now.
Right now. So anyway, we give you away to the Scarecrow Radio folks, Darcy and Ben, and Jeff Krulik.
Bye.